we'll have another act, another interval, and then your fantastic closing act. Are you excited about that? Excellent. We're going to try, Paul, get out. We're going to try a brief practice round of applause. If you don't feel that's patronising, we'll try on 3 a practice round of applause. Don't clap and cheer like English people watching golf. Don't do that. That's it. Oh, no, clap, cheer, scream and whistle like Americans watching war. Just, that's, you can't say that. That's very rude, isn't it? You can't say that. It's casual racism, the best kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll try a practice American round of applause. On 3, 1, 2, 3. That was superb over here. There's one lady over there did absolutely nothing. You just looked at me. Do you speak English at all? No, well, fine. That's okay if you don't. What's your name? Zenadu. Where are you from, Zenadu? From South Africa. All the way from South Africa. And what are you up to over here? What's that? Quality control. Right, that's why you weren't clapping. This is unacceptable. That's completely fine. I'm sure you'll warm up. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your first act of the night? And would you please welcome with a huge round of applause, which starts now. Tickle it up. Come on, give it some willy. And welcome to the stage the fantastic Mr. Roger Monkhouse.
That's very nice. Hello, thank you. Good, that was truthfully an anticlimax in the end. I stamped on the applause and it's entirely my fault, I apologise. Hello. You can relax more, maybe that's the essence. I don't think I've ever seen a gig descend so quickly into an episode of the Jeremy Kyle show as I have tonight. We've got a stag who's fucking older than me with 2 sons. We've got a hen over there in what I assume is ovulation corner with all the ladies penned up in a terrifying sort of pre-sexual way, whose 2 children are at home, and then of course Wales and Essex. Isn't the internet a fabulous thing? I'm not quite sure how to assess the whole room. All the male pattern baldness is on this side as well, very conspicuously. With both stags together as they conspicuously are, it looks for all the world like, you know what, I'm not even sure what it does look like. If you were a chat room, you'd have been closed down by the police years ago. I suppose that's what I'm suggesting. Kiddie fiddlers, that's right. Sorry, that's ridiculously harsh, I apologise, but nonetheless, it's a reasonable assessment. I apologise, the male pattern baldness is very conspicuous over here, especially from the stage. It's like looking out over a sea of lily pads suddenly. It's all men of a certain age, it's a very, very charming thing. Clearly I'm not in a position to take the piss, I am myself bald. That's fairly evidently the case. I found out last Thursday that I apparently bear much more than I ever realised a passing resemblance to William Hague since people started coming up to me on the street apologising for my handling of the media. And one of them offered to suck my cock, which is completely ridiculous. And in that context, I should say as well that I gigged last weekend in Birmingham. That's not a boast. Obviously, hello to the people from the north of England, by the way. I should explain that we're not having a meat raffle during the course of tonight's show. I don't want you kicking off at the end when you begin to realise that we're not bringing out a big tray of Frey Benetons. I've seen it happen before and it can turn quite ugly. I gigged in Birmingham last weekend, which is genuinely a delight. I should say, I'm not about to slag the place, not for a second. And after 10 minutes of being on stage fabulously, someone observed from the rear of the room, and it was an observation. It wasn't a heckle, it was an observation. This only works in a Birmingham accent for reasons which I cannot begin to understand or explain. But after 10 minutes of being on stage, someone from the rear of the room shouted from the darkness, "Yow, look like a thumb," which is truly, I think, the most imaginative and delightful heckle I have ever received. It was a beautiful moment. Yow, look like a thumb. I have to accept that I do apparently, certainly from the rear of the room, look like a thumb. I'm happy to accept that. But what really hurt was when I looked out to see at least 50% of the room and visually verifying the fact with delight etched upon their face. You're relatively young and glamorous, obviously with the exception of the stag, who's, as I say, is older than me. Truly, it's a rare thing to be with a stag. For fuck's sake, I don't know how you can have the ambition, sir, to be honest with you. I'm 9 years your junior. It takes me 3 days to reload, and then it dribbles out like water. You should be concentrating more on your allotment at your age, surely. Young young people won't understand this, of course. You're all relatively, as I say, relatively young and glamorous. How many people here are under the age of 25? That might be a large minority rather than the majority. Well, you know what, to all of you who are under 25, it is a conspicuously shit time to be under 25, and on behalf of all the middle-aged men in the room, I would like to basically apologise to you just for the state of the fucking world, really. I'm not quite sure what happened, but clearly we ran out of money somewhere along the way. Basically, our generation have been in charge for about 10, 15 years, and it turns out we fucked up quite badly. Pensions won't exist when you require them, the NHS will be in terminal decline. We are apparently part of the generation that partied hard and pissed it up the wall, and still got a house out of it. Bad luck on that score. And we've eaten all the fish as well, I'm sorry. They were, if it's any consolation, extremely tasty. What do we like? Get over it. Now, clearly I'm being flippant, but I do have some sort of genuine concerns. I have children, it's Mike, the stag, Mark, I do apologise, Mark, you've obviously got two grown-up children, and the hen Helen, bless you, with 2 and 4, it's not often you get out of the house realistically, is it? So I genuinely congratulate you for your forthcoming nuptials. I have a toddler at home, relatively late in life. You're young, Helen, aren't you? How old are you? You're 25. Well, you can cope with that sort of nonsense, frankly. I'm 45. Having a toddler when you're 45 is a fucking outlandish experience. I've done this before. My eldest is 16, so many, many years ago, I've got some sort of clue of what it is. But in your 20s, you can cope. That's the point I'm making. I'm now in my middle years, just trying to keep up with the toddlers. Preposterous. They're just too quick for you, basically. It's exhausting, especially when they're teething. They just whine in your face and start breaking shit up. If you haven't got children, allow me to explain, it's like having a miniature scouser in your own house. It's a terrifying responsibility. 7/10 self-pity and a frighteningly undeveloped sense of right and wrong. And that's a very crass piece of regional stereotyping, which of course I'm not going to apologise for because it's thoroughly researched. I should ask, do we have any, how many people have got children here? Not as popular as they used to be, are they? There's a reason for that, it's because you're not allowed to hit them anymore, in my opinion. That used to be one of the great perks of parenthood, and now conspicuously it's frowned upon. Not that you'd hold back, I suspect, Mark, or indeed anywhere in Croydon. So you lot just basically haven't been out of the house, as far as I can see. You've not answered a single question unless you're struggling in a second language. You lot have some children, grown-up children as well. What an extraordinary thing that is. You're 54, I'm trying to speculate upon their ages. I have a 16-year-old at home in the waiting room of manhood, so to speak. I say he's at home, he's 16, it's a Saturday night, I have no fucking idea where he is, of course, realistically. You don't ask questions at that age, of course not. If you believe everything you read, he's probably tooled up, and I'm not a fucking idiot. He's 16, so being in the waiting room of manhood, so to speak, he just growls at me unexpectedly from darkened corners of the room and sits there scratching his own persecution complex, harbouring deep-seated resentment. Fuck me, he's just discovered links as well. That's a hard thing to live with, isn't it? It renders the bathroom unusable for 4 hours a day. I've no idea what effect it has upon the opposite sex, but it makes my eyes sting like I can't tell you. It's like being sprayed with mace every morning. And are all teenagers on drugs, or are some of them merely rude and spatially unaware? I truly don't know anymore. I found a bag of weed in the boys' room, eventually, and clearly chuffed as nuts to find it. After 4 fucking years of searching, finally find a bag. I presume it was skunk. Fuck me, it's strong nowadays, isn't it? I thought I was having a stroke. There's no pleasure involved in it. I've smoked a fair amount of dope in my time. It was the drug of my generation, but whether it's your tolerance that goes through the floor when you no longer do that sort of thing, or perhaps it is chemically different to how it was, but I've smoked a bit of dope. I've never previously been too scared to watch the television. Clearly that's not how